All right, friends. So today I want to give you a window into real life in Travelers Rest, which is definitely one of the most sought after and popular spots in the upstate of South Carolina. Hey guys, my name is Travis with GVL Insider, and more specifically in this video, I really just want to give you an overview of Travelers Rest. So we're going to keep things big picture. We're going to look at some of the key features of the town. We're going to look at the layout of the town, and we're also going to look at a few different neighborhoods that showcase different houses that you can find at different price points in Travelers Rest. And hopefully this will help you on your journey of discovery as you are probably watching this video and trying to figure out if a place like Travelers Rest might be best for you and your family. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video as well, because at the end of the video, I am going to include a power Q&A with one of the best real estate agents here in the upstate, my friend Jen Hubbell with Jen Hubbell and Associates. And she has a lot of great local knowledge on Travelers Rest. And in that Q&A, we're also going to get a little bit more into pros and cons and details and maybe a little bit of the dark side. There's nothing too crazy, but we're going to do a little bit deeper analysis in that Q&A discussion. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Now let's get into this and let's take a closer look at Travelers Rest, South Carolina. So why do people choose Travelers Rest? Well, people choose Travelers Rest for a few primary reasons. First of all, TR, as we call it here, it really does embody the small town charms of upstate South Carolina. So it definitely has one of the best small town main streets you can find up here, with a lot of boutiques and local shops and restaurants. And TR, it does feel like a bustling town, so it is growing and there is a lot happening here, but then it still is a small town and they're doing a lot to manage the growth and to stop it from growing too fast, too soon. So it really just offers a good balance in that regard. And then the food scene here is very good as well. So there are excellent restaurants. And then there's also a really big farmers market in Travelers Rest. And I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And I also want to give you just a little bit deeper look into the food and the market scene and what you can find here in Travelers Rest. All right, so this is Tandem Creperie and Coffee House, one of the most popular restaurants here in Travelers Rest for sure. We're gonna go in here and get some breakfast on a cloudy but cool August Saturday morning. Order at the yellow van. Is that a van or a bus? I call that a van. So this is your Travelers Rest Farmers Market. Great market, great place to be on a Saturday morning. One of the best farmers markets in South Carolina for sure. Definitely here in the upstate as well. Now, secondly, people choose TR because it really does offer the mountain vibes and the outdoor access that a lot of other places don't. So the Swamp Rabbit Trail actually starts in Travelers Rest and it runs right adjacent to Main Street. And that's definitely a local favorite. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people actually move to Travelers Rest just for the Swamp Rabbit Trail. But then in addition, if you are somebody who wants to get up into the mountains on a regular basis, TR is just 30 minutes to an hour to some of the best small mountain towns in Western North Carolina. And that's a huge draw as well. So there is a distinct culture here in TR. It's outdoorsy, it's local, it's mountain vibes, it's the deep south, it's Appalachian foothills. But then certain parts of it are also kind of upscale and kind of chic, kind of shabby chic, I would say. And so when you put all of those factors together, that's really what leads many people to choose Travelers Rest over some of the other spots in the upstate. Now, in terms of the layout and amenities in Travelers Rest is still pretty small and compact. So it's really just the Main Street corridor to the west, and then there is a commercial corridor on the east side off of Highway 25 with some larger big box stores. So you got a Walmart over there, you got a Tractor Supply, you got a car wash, and then you have your litany of fast food joints and a Food Lion and a couple of hotels. But that's really about it as far as TR goes. There isn't a whole lot of shopping up here outside of a handful of shopping centers and strip malls. It really is just a few main roads and then some residential pockets and some country road offshoots. And then after a couple miles or so, you're basically just going to start hitting acreage and land in what I would call greater Travelers Rest, just to the north of the city proper. So that should give you an overview of Travelers Rest. But now I also want to show you some neighborhoods just to give you an idea of what kind of house you can find here at different price points. Okay, so this first neighborhood I want to show you, this is about a half of a mile west of the north side of Main Street. So you could walk into downtown. You could walk to the north side of Main Street from this neighborhood. And here you can find some nice houses in the low 300s. So let's say 325 to 340-ish. And these houses are going to be somewhere close to 1,500 square feet-ish. And a lot of them might even be new builds with some pretty nice mid-level finishes. And I wanted to show you this neighborhood in particular because it is still a very mixed and transitional type of neighborhood, meaning parts of this neighborhood have a very nice feel with a lot of newer and updated houses, but then other parts of the neighborhood, they do still feel a little bit older and run down and a little bit more rugged, just to be totally honest with you. And you might even see certain houses that have some junk out in the front yard or a bunch of old cars out in the front yard and things like that. And I wanted to show you this because it really does represent the kind of blend of styles and vibes that you will get in certain pockets of Travelers Rest. And it also typifies what you can find at this lower price point. So you can definitely find a good house in Travelers Rest in the low 300s, but the inventory at this price point is low. So there's just not a lot of houses that go up for sale here in the low 300s. And if you are shopping in the low 300s, there's still usually going to be some kind of trade-off involved at this price point, whether in terms of the neighborhood itself still needing some improvements, like in this case, or in terms of maybe the house being smaller or the house needing some more updates and renovations, etc., etc. All right, with this next neighborhood, let's jump up into the 400s and see what we can get with this amount of money in TR. So here we are just a little bit to the northeast of downtown Travelers Rest. And this is a newer development over off of Tigerville Road. So this would not be walkable to downtown, but it is still very much within the TR orbit and convenient to Main Street for sure. And some of the smaller houses in this neighborhood, they would go for like $375 to $400 maybe. But then the larger ones that are going to be closer to 2,000 square feet plus, these are going to go in the upper 400s. So like 475 plus, give or take. So you can see at this price point in TR, you do have more options. You're going to get more square footage if you want it. You're going to have more options for that nice manicured, cohesive neighborhood feel, maybe some better updates, maybe some better finishes. So that's just an example of kind of your mid-range price point. Once you get closer to the 400s, mid 400s, upper 400s, the kind of lifestyle options that you will have here in Travelers Rest. Okay, now with this third neighborhood, I want to go closer to the $1 million range. So I want to show you this spot that's about 2.5 miles north of downtown Travelers Rest. And here you're going to have some houses that are well over 2,000 square feet. So a lot of these are going to be 3,000 to 4,000 square feet. And this part of town in particular, it's this very nice kind of secluded, quiet country road neighborhood pocket with these larger houses that are typically sitting on about an acre of land or maybe a little bit more. And a lot of these are going to go somewhere just south of $1 million. So I've seen these anywhere from 750, 800, 850 up to $1 million, right in that range is what you're looking at in this area. So if you are looking for that larger house on an acre or more in Travelers Rest, that's usually going to come at this price point. You're going to be somewhere very close to $1 million. Could be a little lower, could definitely be higher, but somewhere approaching $1 million is where you really get that option for a larger house on some land in Travelers Rest, South Carolina. So here's like my dream home in Travelers Rest. This is probably on about an acre, maybe a little bit more. I'd say by the time you buy this land, clear it, grade it, build your house, you're probably looking at about $1 million, give or take. Can't be 100% sure, but that's what you're looking at for this type of house in this type of area. This is a great little part of town just north of Travelers Rest. Here, let me cycle around here for you. This is over near Tubbs Mountain Road. So those are just 3 types of neighborhoods that I hope give you an idea of what types of houses you can find in Travelers Rest. And anything below the low 300s, let's say, you're going to be looking at townhouses, and there actually are some very nice townhouses here. Or you might be looking at a smaller house or an even older house in the upper 200s that still needs a lot of updating and renovation. So if you wanted to buy, like, let's say an older brick ranch for $275,000 and put at least $75,000 into updates and renovations into it, those kinds of houses do pop up here and there in Travelers Rest as well. So I hope that just gives you a general picture of what the housing situation looks like and what the different neighborhood pockets kind of feel like and what you can find in these different neighborhoods. And hopefully this helps you decide and reach some kind of preliminary conclusion as to whether or not this might be the right place for you. All right, friends, don't go away, because now, as promised, I want to take you into that Q&A discussion with one of the top performing, most sought after real estate agents here in the upstate of South Carolina, my friend Jen Hubbell with Jen Hubbell and Associates. And full disclosure, Jen is a sponsor and partner of GVL Insider, but we only partner with the best. And I think you're really going to benefit from her real estate expertise. So with that said, let's jump now into the Q&A. Jen Hubbell, welcome back to the GVL Insider Show.
Yes, love it.
Great to have you back with us. And today we're talking about Travelers Rest, a topic a lot of people love, a place a lot of people love. So I want to just jump right in here. Who is Travelers Rest a good fit for? There's all these places up here when people are looking at the upstate and they're comparing, should I move to Greer, Simpsonville, Fountain Inn, Easley, Travelers Rest? So who is the TR person, the person who comes here and they're like, this is my spot.
This is my, everyone thinks Travelers Rest is their spot.
Yeah.
We actually had a joke in our team.
That's funny.
Like, shocker, they want to live at Travelers Rest. Everyone wants to live in Travelers Rest. But Travelers Rest is not for everyone.
Right.
And here's why. It's a really small town that has made itself big in name because it's got a connection to the Swamp Rabbit Trail. So you can actually go from downtown Greenville up through Furman and University all the way to downtown Travelers Rest. But Travelers Rest itself is still a small town.
It's a small town.
Yeah, like you don't have big shopping.
So it's kind of like the small town outdoorsy. But talk about the shopping, because in my video I did talk about the pros and the positives.
Oh, yeah.
But the downsides, like people, why do they go there and they're like, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah,
Expand on that.
Because everyone loves the mountain biking. Everyone loves that you're, less than an hour from 250 waterfalls. It's gorgeous. You're outside of the city, but you are accessible. All the good things, right? However, there's not great shopping. Like if you want Best Buy, Home Depot, Costco, any of those, they're not there.
Doctor's offices.
Yeah. You just have to travel for them. And you might have to travel like 35 minutes to Costco.
Right.
Which, and so that feels long. Now, they have Walmart, You know, it's kind of like other small towns. There's Walmart, you got a Dollar General, they
fast food.
Yeah, and fast food. And like they have Chick-fil-A now. Woohoo! You know, but still that anchor Burger King that's probably been there since the early 80s, you know. But the downtown is just flourishing and amazing.
Right.
So that's why people like it. But it is small boutiques, small cute restaurants, things like that. There's no chain restaurants that are big restaurants. It's not like you're gonna find a Ruth's Chris there.
Right. Yeah, so definitely those trade-offs. And I live just south of Travelers Rest. I basically almost live in Travelers Rest.
You do? I don't know where you live. Just kidding.
Somebody sold me a house there. I still don't know who talked me into that.
Yeah. It's a great
No,
house.
it's a great decision.
Yeah.
But it was a huge adjustment for me coming from a big city because it's not just that you're driving to your shopping, it's that you're not jumping on an interstate. So you're like traversing city streets and country roads and some highways, but they have a lot of stoplights. So you kind of feel like if you're trying to get to the other side of town with your shopping, you're driving across town, or some of the biggest employers like BMW, Michelin on the other side of town, the airport. You're like kind of going way
It definitely is not. Now 25 is what I would call like a small artery that goes from Asheville all the way down to Greenville, but it is certainly not a interstate like 85. Like you said, that has, if you're coming and you're going to be working for a big employer, probably Travelers Rest might not be your favorite place. And if you travel a lot, whether you travel for leisure or you have to do it for work, again, the airport is solid 35 minutes, if not 45 minutes across Greenville County, not on any one specific highway. And even the Asheville airport is close-ish, but it's still 45-minute drive. So if you need to be 15, 20 minutes from the airport because you travel a lot, you might not love Travelers Rest.
So you're really trading that lifestyle and the unique lifestyle it gives for just a little bit longer drives and longer commutes. And a lot of people, they're willing to make that trade-off, you know? So moving into the next thing, people who actually do buy here, you know, we were talking off camera a little bit about some of the challenges as far as, it's kind of a good thing because there's not tons of development, so they're trying to keep it small, but there are some inventory challenges, and that affects what's available, it affects price. So what's the environment as far as inventory, you're trying to buy a house, what you need to be aware of, and what the kind of situation on the ground is? Okay,
so right now there's 220 homes available in Travelers Rest. That's not a lot. It might sound like a lot, but the inventory has been low, and it's been low for years. Because if you had come 10 years ago, Travelers Rest, you could have bought a house for $160,000. That was normal price out there. It was out in the country. It felt too far, but little by little, it has like morphed itself into Greenville, right? Right now, the average price in Travelers Rest is $385,000.
Yeah, that's a little high.
Well, for all of Greenville County, it's $410,000. So it might appear like, oh, it's actually less expensive, but it's not. It's only because that $410,000 is including multi-million-dollar homes on golf course communities that are in Greenville or Greer or areas like that. So Travelers Rest still, I would say, is kind of at the top of the pack price-wise, which we're still one of the most affordable places in the country. How many places do you know where the average price is $385,000? You know, like, that's amazing. But here's also what's interesting about Travelers Rest. There's a lot of new construction because they're trying to make up for the need. However, they're kind of pocket neighborhood construction. We're not talking about like some builder coming and clear cutting for 1,000 homes. Thank God. I think that Travelers Rest has done a good job of trying to protect it. It's still feeling like a small town. So you might have a new neighborhood that's like, let's say, 4 cul-de-sacs. You know, it's not a lot. It's
not like sprawling suburbia. And that helps to preserve the small town, and they're really trying to do that. But it also means there's always going to be less inventory, you know, less supply, demand, like prices are going to be a little higher.
And the closer you are into downtown, like most cities, the more expensive it's going to be. One thing I see in Travelers Rest that I don't see in the other cities as much, it is very much if you bring the land, we'll build it, builder friendly. instead of just somebody coming in and building, you know, a small development, let's say with 25 homes, there's a lot of builders in Travelers Rest that will say, hey, just we'll build on your land. I see that more there than anywhere else because people do like the kind of being in the country feel. What you get?
Yeah. So for people who do want to buy, and this is something we encountered recently, my wife and I, we were thinking about buying a lot actually in a neighborhood, didn't work out. But anyways, long story short, we were talking and you said, look, that lot is worth 65, 75, maybe 100 if you wanted to just like keep it for 30 years.
Yeah.
And this lot was listed at 180. Yes. And then they dropped it to 150.
Yes.
And so they were really trying to take advantage of just the fact that people move to TR, they look in TR and they get emotional because it's so great. So they were pricing way high.
Way high.
Now, is that typical? Is that an anomaly?
I would say that is not indicative of the market overall.
Okay. It's
like that lot particularly was an infill lot. So it was in a neighborhood that has already been established. The homes in there are 25 years old. And it's a good little neighborhood. But the homes certainly, so when you buy a lot, it should not exceed 20% of your total home cost.
Like all into
all of it together, right? So imagine if somebody paid 140 or 150 for it, right?
That's
that
like
means
$750,000.
$750,000. No one is building a $750,000 house in that neighborhood.
Right. They were like 400.
So
450.
this is somebody who just is like totally fine with not making any financial sense on the books. They just wanted that lot.
Right. Because it sold for 100 in the end, which was maybe a little high, but the price was way high. But so you don't see generally that sellers are trying to take advantage of buyers in TR. Are things going?
No.
Right. So the market's pretty.
The market is pretty much flat.
Okay.
We have exactly the same prices as we did last year, almost exactly down to, I think, 2 homes difference, the number of inventory last year. So, and the average price has gone up 0.5%, so 0.5%. So basically, everything is like, which is, sellers are more reasonable right now because they realize it takes 57 days to sell your house right now. In Travelers Rest specifically, that's still really good if you're a seller. Like, it cracks me up when people are like, the market is going down. This is a buyer's market. I'm like, what are you talking about? Sellers are still getting 98%
in TR. So when
their list price.
So when someone sees a list price in TR, don't think you're going to
Don't be like throwing an offer that's $60,000 less.
Right. Sellers are mostly
unrealistic. I will say one thing that buyers have more leverage on right now, because they used to have no leverage. It was like, take this house as is if you want it. You know, but now sellers are more accepting of closing costs. So a lot of times what will happen is like a buyer will come say, hey, I want $5,000 in closing costs. What happens typically is a seller will pop up the price $5,000 to make up for that difference. So they still net what they want. So that's why we're still seeing that like 98%, but we are seeing closing costs in almost every transaction. I had a seller recently be like, I'm not paying anything for the other person. No one does that. And I was like, actually about 90% of sellers are paying some type of closing costs for the buyer. So that would be in one sense an advantage for the buyer, that they know that probably they're going to work out at least some kind of closing costs, and sellers are more apt to honor a home warranty now, which they used to just be like, forget it.
Wow. Yeah, that's why I really recommend you guys reach out to Jen. You can always call her, text her, because just when it comes to these types of details and getting into the negotiation.
I'm so nerdy about it. I love it.
She is, and like the fine print, like she's really helped me and my wife and my family members understand, like, here's the real value of that. Like, let's take the emotion out of it. This is a good thing. This is not. So I really have always appreciated that. Now, as far as the future of Travelers Rest, because a lot of people, you know, myself included, when I moved somewhere, when I moved here, I'm trying to see, okay, where is this going to be in 5 to 10 years? Because I know Greenville and everywhere's growing, so it's not going to be the same. So how do you think Travelers Rest is going to look in 5 to 10 years? That whole area, are they going to be able to preserve their small town charms? Is it going to run away with itself? And like, what do you think someone's looking at in 5 to 10 years in that area and the vibes and the development?
If I had a crystal ball, that would be amazing because I would be super wealthy probably. But no, here is actually, I think Travelers Rest is doing a great job of putting boundaries on growth in a smart way, right? And I think we're not going to see like giant apartment complexes pop up in downtown Travelers Rest. Thank God. You know, even when the city was working with Pinestone, which is a master plan community, it's got townhomes, single family homes, right? And it's walkable to downtown. They still had to meet a lot of criteria from the city in order to not look like we're just bang overbuilding Travelers Rest, right? However, once you get out into the county, there's going to be more opportunity.
Like outside the small footprint of the actual city limits.
Yeah.
And just so people know, you could still have a Travelers Rest address outside of Travelers Rest because the Postal Service services your neighborhood, but like a lot of those houses on the outskirts that are in Travelers Rest are actually in Greenville County, and they have different development.
You could be 30 minutes north.
Right, so
and still have a TR address.
Yeah, like greater TR, actually Greenville County, what you see happening out there.
Yes, so I will say 25 is like a main corridor, right? That goes from Asheville and Hendersonville, which has gotten very expensive. Like the average home there, the exact same home, just across the border is 100,000 more.
Wow.
So we have a lot of people. Our number one feeder city for the Greenville area is Asheville because people just are getting sick of it. They don't want to live anymore. The traffic has gotten bad on I-26. So they're coming down the mountain, but this is what I foresee.
They're coming down the mountain.
They're
and
coming down the mountain when they come.
A lot of them like TR. They come down the mountain.
Yeah, they love it. But they
like,
come all the time anyway to visit because it's cool, right?
Yeah.
But I think that somebody with some money who has vision is going to put together a really nice multi-use master planned center.
That'd be so cool.
It would be awesome. And I think people would flood to it because you would have people where it's 20 minutes down the mountain from Hendersonville come. You could come for a nice dinner out, maybe shop at a couple boutiques. What I'm imagining is like really beautiful courtyards with pavers, like cute shops, maybe a couple anchor stores, but not huge, but where it's kind of like a destination area that people can get to from Travelers Rest and from the north side. So I would envision that's going to happen somewhere where like the Sphinx and Dunkin' Donuts is. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like in that area right now.
Just when you're getting to the northern boundary.
Like right now there's some like peach stands or strawberries are for sale or different things like that. But I think that that would be a beautiful way to do something that creates activity for people, a place for them to go where they don't have to go into downtown Greenville, but also maybe they can get some nicer restaurants.
So there is going to be some kind of strategic development.
I believe
things
so.
are going to happen, but I don't think, and what you're probably saying is it's not going to totally lose its small town charms in the next 5 to 10 years because they're fighting to not let that
I would
happen.
imagine that they would do like small, cute cottage homes that are craftsman style, not like clear cut and all
Right, it's
the
not going to
trees
become
are
like
not.
the sprawling suburb.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So I think that covers a lot of interesting topics, good
Yes.
topics, but I always got to end talking about food, or at least that's kind of a tradition. Oh, you were talking about the coffee shops and how great the
Well,
coffee
I was going to say, if
coffee
you love
shop
coffee,
culture.
you will love Travelers
Right.
Rest. There's so many great coffee shops. Bridge City, Leopard Forest, like you could just, you could just start naming them off.
Yeah,
and
it is a lot.
When they put Starbucks in there, I was like, who's going to go to Starbucks when you have all these craft coffee places? But if we're talking food.
Yeah, restaurants, where does someone need to try? Where's your favorite spot, favorite meal?
There is a Caribbean shrimp salad that they have at Chicora Alley.
Okay. Yeah, I know Chicora Alley.
Super awesome.
I never had the shrimp salad.
Yeah, it is really, really good.
Okay.
It's so yummy. In fact, I could have one right now.
So come for the shrimp salad.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
It's not like gross shrimp salad that's
Yeah.
mayonnaise-y.
I gotta try that.
It's like a salad.
Yeah,
It's got
I've only had their
mango,
burger.
like red onion, and then like fresh cooked shrimp on top.
Sounds very good.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so I think we're going to wrap up our discussion on Traveler's Rest there.
Good.
We're going to try to get Jen back very soon because I want to do a video on Fountain Inn.
Love it.
It's kind of like a sort of sister similar
Yeah,
to Traveler's Rest on the other
some
side of
ways.
town, but very different.
Still has a different culture. It's
Yeah.
definitely a different economic
Yeah.
or set of people.
Yeah, but kind of like
Yeah.
the small town that has its
Yeah.
vision.
Yeah.
And they're going in some interesting directions. So we're going to do
Yeah.
Fountain Inn. If you guys wanted to reach out to Jen,
Yeah.
Jen, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Should they call you, text
Yes.
you?
Well,
Okay.
if you're getting in touch with Travis, he knows how to get in touch with me, but you can find me on Facebook, Jen Hubbell, like the telescope, hubcap and bell, shove it together.
Okay. I'll put your number on the screen here
but
too.
like we absolutely love serving people.
Mm-hmm.
We love it. We're great at it. We don't really do any advertising because people just come to us because they had a great experience. And we have somebody who can answer the phone all the time. Like right now while we're talking, I've got awesome staff in the other room who are saying, hey, how can we help you?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So give Jen a call, text her, reach out to me. I can connect you guys. And I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining us. Jen, thank you
Yes.
as always. And we'll see you in the next one.
Maybe Traveler's Rest.
Yes. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to sign up for my email list by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting gvlinsider.com. If you sign up today, I will send you my free GVL Relocation Survival Kit. This is a 3-part email series that includes a neighborhood guide to help you choose the best part of town, my list of trusted people who can help make your move to the upstate a reality. That comes in email number 2. And then email number 3 gives you my deep dive cost of living breakdown related to life here in Greenville. This is really the type of resource I wish I would have had before I moved here. So make sure you check that out. Scan that QR code, visit gvlinsider.com. Thank you guys as always for stopping by, and I will see you in the next one.